explain a little bit. I'm James Loftus is my name, and I am the Chief Commercial Officer of Open for Vintage, and neither of those two things mean absolutely anything. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what it is that we do as a company and how we can help. So it's going to be a little bit different to the talks that you've just listened to, because essentially myself and my business partner, we're tech entrepreneurs. You know, we're very sort of tech minded, and that's how we've built our offering. So I'll show you a couple of slides in a moment, but just to help you to understand where the concept for the company came from. So myself and my partner, we've known each other for 30 years. We went to school together, and we had always wanted to set up a business together, but we didn't really know what. And around 5-6 years ago, we became very interested in aggregator model type businesses. So like your Airbnbs, or your Farfetches. So Farfetch became a particularly good example for us, because we looked at an industry and what they hadn't done. No one was doing anything like Farfetch. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, what they do is they're an online marketplace, and they recruit boutiques around the world, and they sell on behalf of these specific boutiques. But they're unique for different reasons, whether it be the product that they sell, designers they stock, that sort of thing. So that sort of model hadn't been done before. Around the same time, sort of sustainability and circular economy in fashion was also becoming quite a big touch point for a lot of people. And we wanted to look, or we were looking at the time to say, is there a Farfetch out there for pre-owned? Is there a Farfetch out there for vintage? And if so, can we model it? Let's take a look at this. So what we came up with is Open for Vintage. And what we are, again, we are a marketplace, but only for vintage and pre-owned luxury. So we sell on behalf of 70 of the world's leading boutiques, from anywhere from Tokyo to California and everything in between. And we do it in the same way that Farfetch do it. So we only have boutique sellers. We do not allow individuals to sell. In looking at how to do it, how do we encourage the circular economy? How do we encourage sustainability? And can we use tech to solve the problem? Because at the moment, the problem is the market is completely fragmented. There are tens of thousands of luxury vintage sellers around the world, but nothing really putting them together. And certainly at the time, there was no one putting them together effectively. So we wanted to see, could that be done? So that brings me to, I only have a couple of slides. I don't tend to work off slideshows. I'll talk through as I go. Can everybody see that? Can anybody see that?
Yeah, that's fine, James. Thank you.
Great. Hang on till I just get to, there we go. Okay. So Open for Vintage, disrupting the pre-owned luxury market. Who are we? So Open for Vintage is an AI-driven marketplace platform built to consolidate and disrupt the pre-owned luxury market. You can actually tell that this has been written for an investor presentation and not for like public consumption. AI, for anybody who doesn't know, is artificial intelligence. So AI is the backbone of our business, and it allows us to do what we do. It allows us to promote sustainability and promote the circular economy and support these smaller local sellers. The way we've done that is we've spent 3 years building an AI engine. And what that means is AI is sort of a buzzword in technology at the moment, but let me explain what it actually means. Artificial intelligence is rules-based logic, and that's all it is. So, for example, we import all of the stock from our boutique partners automatically. There's no manual part to the process. We do it all for them, and that allows them to function with us as a marketplace. So if they have 1,000 pieces of stock online, we will take that stock in, we will automatically list it, and if they sell a piece and they take it down or they put up a new piece, again, we'll catch that automatically. The problem is you're dealing with 70 different retailers, all who are working on different tech platforms in 15 different countries around the world. And how do you consolidate all that stock into a usable product? And you do that by using a rules-based engine, an artificial intelligence engine. So we've spent years developing this, and basically it works off the logic of if X, then Y. So for example, if we're importing a bag and it's a 1996 Chanel single flap caviar, we will look at that and go, categorize it as handbag, categorize it as shoulder bag, it's black, it's leather, and all that stuff happens automatically. We also have sort of clever exclusion rules as well. So if you've got a language barrier with a particular boutique, maybe based in China or Japan, you know, and they're using, we've one in particular who they use a particular word. Instead of saying there's a mark or a scratch on the bag, they say there's a dinghy. And of course, a dinghy is the real thing. So we have logic behind that, say, change the word dinghy into small mark or scratch, or take out certain words like broken, damaged, and exclude those products. So that's just a little bit about the technology behind the actual business itself. But why that is important is because it's at the core of our model, and without it, we would not be able to do it. We would not be able to promote sustainability. We would not be able to promote circular economy, which we are absolutely passionate about. I mean, for us, the sort of the circular economy and buying quality and having lasting quality and having things in your wardrobe or your drawers that are you know, incomparable in today's product offerings is just fantastic. You know, why would you buy a new Rolex? If you want a Rolex, you know, buy a vintage one, keep it for 20 years, give it to your son, give it to your daughter, you know, hand it down within generations. If you Chanel bag, do the same. And it's undoubtedly the quality is 100 times better, as in most things, to be honest. The quality of yesteryear is better. We're renovating a house at the moment, and I don't want to buy any new products, so I've been buying doors on Dundee and Facebook Marketplace. But they're all 50-year-old doors, and they're all made of you know, solid oak, and they take about 8 people to carry them. You know, same goes for a Chanel handbag or a Rolex watch. You know, they're made 20, 30, 40 years ago. These are handcrafted, you know, and they're absolutely amazing. And as we want to encourage that and not the fast fashion market. Just want to give you an idea of how we do what we do and the sort of the gains we can see. First of all, in our own model, it's direct to customer. So there's no middle person. If you buy off Open for Vintage today, we will send a note to the boutique dealer to say there's been a sale, and they will ship it the next day to you. So it's as efficient as it can be. Currently, all our shipping partner is DHL. All our shipments are carbon neutral, because we pay extra for the initiatives that they invest in to offset the cost of carbon. And in next year, we're hoping to be carbon negative as well, which means that actually every delivery that takes place, more is being invested into these initiatives. So this is, I've talked a little bit about the model that we use, and this is the model that we don't want. I'm not slating our competition for promoting sort of the circular economy and sustainability, but the way they're doing it is sort of, it's heavy in terms of expenditure, and it's heavy in terms of just using resources. So if you take this, for example, this is the model of most of our competitors. If an individual would like to say, I want to sell my watch, I go on my competitor's site and I list it. There then has to be a manual process whereby that photograph has to be cut out and put on a white background. They're typically, that sort of job is outsourced to teams of people in Vietnam, the Philippines, that sort of thing. Second then is a customer comes on and they buy what I'm selling, they buy my watch. I then have to package that in my own packaging, and I have to send it to a central warehouse. So you've got warehousing, staff, and packaging. From there, they will authenticate it, and from then, if they're happy with it, they will then reship it and repackage it and reship it to the end customer. So you've got 2 airplanes, you've got 2 sets of packaging, and all sorts of consumption in associated with warehousing. It's completely inefficient. We don't do any of that. We will just ship next day to customer, and like I said, it's carbon neutral shipping. That's really sort of what we do. Our plans for the future is we're not trying to save everything. We're just trying to be as ethical as we can in our own practices, as well as promoting sustainability and as well as promoting the circular economy. And yeah, I mean, that's essentially what we do. Any advancements that we make in our tech or we make in our product offering for our customers, we will always consider the environmental impact as well. We will be as green as we possibly can be as an organization, and yeah, that's how we trade. So that's just a little bit about Open for Vintage and what we do. That's it, guys. Thanks.